This is the most diabolical time in history to be a presenter. We live in the age of distraction, when audiences have minuscule attention spans and are weaponized with handheld devices to immediately transport them to the temptations and delights of the internet, effectively escaping from us. Find out how to not let this happen to you. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Monday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center studio in Akasaka in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. This is episode number 154, and we are talking about create raving fans when presenting. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. We can speak to a group. Then there is another level where we try to totally captivate our audience. It makes a difference. The content could even be the same, but in the hands of one person, it is dry and delivered in a boring manner. Someone else can take the same basic materials and really bring it to life. We see this with music. The same lyrics, but with a different arrangement, and something magical happens. This new version becomes a smash hit. Speeches are similar. A boring rendition is given a delivery makeover and suddenly has the audience sitting on the edge of their seats, fully enthralled. I'm sure we would all vote for the enthralling version. So, how do we do that? The quality of the argument we are going to present is important. We definitely need to design two powerful closes. One for at the end of the speech and an extra one for after the Q&A. It sounds counterintuitive, but we should start from the close when designing the talk. We work hard to clearly define what is the most compelling message we want to leave with our audience. Only then do we start to work backwards, structuring the rest of the speech from that point. Once we know what will really resonate with the audience, we begin gathering evidence to back that assertion up. We have to remember that broad statements are too easy to make. This is the era of cynicism, fake news, so the listener will need a lot of convincing. We now do a rough sketch of the key points and attach the supporting evidence. In a 30-minute speech, there won't be so much time, so we get through 3 or 4 of these key points, and that is it. We must make sure that the evidence is super, super strong. We need really compelling proof in order to build solid credibility for our argument. The next stage is vital, especially in this age of distraction. We have to wrangle a dynamite blockbuster opening We have to compete with all the things running through the minds of our audience, the things they were doing before they got to the venue, and all the things they have to do after this speech. The handheld device is a modern-day siren call. It so silkily diverts their attention away from us as they check email and social media. We have to smash through all that obstruction. We sweep all before us and clear a path so the audience will actually hear our message. The first words out of our mouth had better be super compelling. If not, we will lose the battle for people's modern, minuscule attention spans. We need to carefully design what that will be because it won't happen by itself. We want our visuals on screen to be clear and instantly comprehensible within 2 seconds. It used to be 10 seconds, but now we are down to just 2. So really, take a cold, hard look at what you are putting up on screen. If it is taking the viewer longer than 2 seconds, then the slides are too dense. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to become a fully competent and confident presenter, then do the High Impact Presentations course. We are all being judged when we speak, be it in the internal team meeting or in a public environment, be it the big bosses, clients, or an industry audience. Everyone is evaluating us. Don't blow it. Get the best training on the planet. Do the High Impact Presentations course now in either Japanese or English. Are you doing business with Japan? Do you really know how things work? Japan Business Mastery provides the answers. Do you have the right networks and know how to create them? Do you know how to get on the same wavelength with Japanese buyers? Do you know what being trustworthy looks like from the Japanese perspective? Japan Business Mastery is based on more than 30 years' experience in Japan and will become your go-to guide. Want to succeed in Japan? Buy Japan Business Mastery now. Welcome back. Let's keep the colours to an absolute maximum of 3. Photos are great, with maybe just one word of text added or just kept as they are. This intrigues our audience to learn more. We can then talk to the point we want to make. If we use graphs, we should have only one per screen whenever possible. If we are going to use video, it had better be short and really, really hot. The transition from slide deck to video back to slide deck must be seamless, so none of that tech fail we often see on display. Every 5 minutes, we need to be switching the energy levels right up to keep our audience going with us. This is key because they flag. Classical music has its lulls and crescendos, and so should we. Naturally, we have tonal variety right throughout the talk, but we need to be hitting some key messages very hard around that 5-minute interval. This should be synchronized with some powerful visuals on screen to further drive home the point. This is not a result of chance, good fortune, or fortuitous accident. We need to plan for this massive impact on the audience. We structure the presentation so that this brings all the vocal and visual elements together in a powerful, distinct, 1 in a million way. We are meticulously sprinkling stories throughout the speech to highlight the evidence for our key points. Data by itself is fundamentally dull, but stories fleshing out the data should be scintillating. These will be full of visual stimulation using word pictures to conjure mental images in the minds of our audience. We bring physical locations to life, describe vivid colours, talk about the season, mix in people they may know, and importantly, explain the why of the story. In this way, we take our listeners on a magical journey where they see the scene playing out in their own mind's eye. It's a bit like reading a novel after having seen the movie. As you read it, you can mentally imagine the scenes you saw previously on screen. This is exactly the powerful effect we are going for. Our final close after the Q&A has to go off with a real bang and not a whimper. We want a powerfully strong call to action. The final few words must finish on an intense, uplifting upswing. Many speakers let that very last sentence just sputter and peter out. Remember, we want to muster the audience to our cause. We want them to leave dyed-in-the-wool supporters. We want them getting a florid forehead tattoo with our name on it. Okay, I was getting a bit carried away there. That is probably too much, but you get the idea. We need great structure, unassailable evidence, clear visuals, gripping stories, pacing, energy, passion, and 100% belief in the value of our presentation. The delivery is going to rock because we make it rock through rehearsal after rehearsal after rehearsal. We keep going until we refine the whole thing into a symphonic triumph. We need to be thinking to create raving fans in our audience right from the start. When we construct our talk, begin with captivation in mind. Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It's awesome value, so check it out. You might also enjoy our other shows. For podcasts, Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, Tuesdays for the Presentations Japan series, and every second Tuesday for the Business Tatsujin no Oshie program, Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series, Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday for the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays for the Japan Business Mastery show, and Saturdays for Japan's top business interviews, wherever you get your podcast. Also, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television show, and every Friday, the Japan Business Mastery show, and every Saturday, the Japan's top business interviews show on YouTube. In episode number 155, we are talking about how to totally smash your price is too high. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. We've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.